everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric. Where'd your beard go, Gabe?
He gone.
He shaved it off.
It was gone.
And further down the table, I have Robert Vintage Open McCall.
Yeah.
Talking about playing some Vintage Open this weekend.
I'm going to throw a frizz.
You want to throw some frizz?
Yeah.
So, but first to Eric. Okay,
Yes.
So you left to go to Arizona to do some course design.
I did.
You come back and you have 3/4 of your beard. What's going on?
3/4? Probably more than that.
That's probably true. Did it get hot over there?
It was 95 degrees every day I was there. In the shade.
What was it, 30-something the other day here, Robert?
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually
It was awful.
I was actually watching some Jonesboro coverage, and I saw the snow, and I'm like, wow, I do not feel bad for anybody there because I am here.
No doubt.
But no, I did. I felt bad for every single player in that event because everybody knows what that's like to go to an event and really want to perform at your best, and you just can't do that when it's snowing and even raining and cold. And
And a super long course.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but it was hot, but it was a lot of fun.
So can you tell us any details about the course?
I cannot.
Really?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
There will be baskets.
Maricopa is where I was. It is just south of the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, about 30 minutes or so. There's a huge tournament there every year at the beginning of the year called the Maricopa Meadows Open or something, I believe like that. It's at Maricopa Meadows is the tournament. And the city wanted me to come in and do more of an 18-hole course that they could potentially use for that. And I got there, and it's just, I don't think that's possible. There's too many like soccer fields and walking path. It's just, it would be very, very unsafe.
Right.
So my suggestion was to put a little 9-holer around the lake that they have there. And then if you want to use the existing areas during that tournament, we can do that.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to shut the complete park down and set up a temporary 9.
Oh, wow.
So, that was kind of a bummer, but it's going to be a fun little course. You know, it's just going to be very beginner friendly. Which I think is very important this day and age in disc golf. We need more of that super beginner friendly where, there's a lake there so kids are fishing with their families and they can see disc golf and not go out and get discouraged by it. Yeah. Go out and maybe get some pars. Yeah. So, so that was it was an awesome trip though all around, getting out there and playing some nice weather, getting to see some nice weather again because it doesn't seem like spring's ever going to get here.
No.
And
so dumb.
Any timeline on when we might see something there? Or?
Timeline? Out there, the beautiful thing about out there is they don't have a winter. So, they can just pretty much go whenever.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of stuff that happens in the summer out there. Their summer is kind of like our winter. Yeah. You know what I mean? People don't get out a lot in the summer out there. So I would assume, you could have be playing out there by this fall, late summer, fall.
Excellent.
So,
Robert, you're going to play the Vintage Open, but you're not going alone. You're going with actually Danny. Who else are you going with? Danny
and Corey Obermeyer and Brian Shintaku.
That'll be fun.
And then Shay's going to be there, but she's got business stuff to do, so she'll bring a separate car and then hang out with us in the RV some.
So what are you anticipating at the Vintage Open?
I've watched a video or two of each of the courses, but courses are always different than how they look on video. So I'm excited to just get there and learn some courses and play some disc golf.
I was really expecting you to say, I'm expecting to win it. Where's that confidence, man?
I will be winning this event.
Okay.
At least by probably 5 or 6 per round. So yeah, just write it down.
Per hole.
Yeah. No, I don't really like to go in with any expectations. I just want to go and play to the best of my ability and then see what happens.
Good. Well, Danny's going to be out there as well. He's going to take over the Dynamic Disc Snapchat account. So if you like to follow us on Snapchat, Danny will have some fun out there. Every now and then he'll check in and kind of show you other people playing, maybe show you some of the adventures while they're going out there. So you can find us on Snapchat. Just look up username Dynamic Discs. So we're live. This is our second episode going live, and I think everything went okay last time. The only hitch was the audio. So if you're listening on the audio portion, just the audio podcast, I want to apologize for the audio. There was a bit of a peak. I'm trying to figure out the right mix. Hopefully this one is a little bit better, the right mix to go into the camera and all that stuff. So a bunch of technical stuff, but we're trying to get it figured out, and we will get it figured out for sure. I posted on my Facebook today. I know it's kind of late, but I went ahead and put everybody on notice that GBO mode is engaged.
I saw that. Engaged.
Engage.
So, and what I mean by that is it seems like, I mean, we always think of GBO throughout the year, but it seems like there's a certain time where it's like that is just overpowering.
That's the only thing that you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Every other task is now kind of put aside and put down the list. And now it's time for GBO. I know this morning when I was in our little event meeting that I was talking with Eric, Jeremy, and Doug, and it was just full on GBO talks and just last minute things.
And that's something we do every day or every week.
Right.
I mean, it's not even like when GBO's 8 months away,
right.
We're still talking about what can we do to make GBO better.
Right.
So it's not like it's something that's just new.
Right. Right.
You know, we're out there all the time.
Right. So we're getting excited, getting all the final things of, I mean, I know that, I want to say, I know it should be final things, but it still seems like something new comes up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we need to figure this out. We also have some course previews that are now out on our YouTube channel. Hopefully you've watched that. I know we have Jones East, Jones West, and Opie went out today, and Anthony.
Cottonwood. Chase Disc Golf is out as well.
Chase is out.
Disc Store did.
Disc Store did. And Anthony is working on Peter Pan right now, so that should be out shortly. So we tried a little bit of a different format this time around, and I think for the most part, some parts of it worked. Some parts of it, we had an oversight where we had forgotten again about the short tees and the different tees that people play. So we're constantly looking at this stuff and improving it, but hopefully it'll be give you kind of an overview of the course and it'll kind of help you out. So, but kudos to Danny and Anthony for getting out there and filming and editing that. And of course, thanks to the help from Eric and everybody for playing out there. One last thing before we get to the questions, Trilogy challenges. That's something we got to make sure we keep in everybody's mind. We are at 221 events right now, 39 states and 10 countries. We need to have all 50 states.
At least.
Who are we
Maybe
missing?
more.
Who are we missing? I don't know. I can't tell. Well, how am I going to tell? But we're missing 11 states. I know that. So we need to get all 50 states in there. And so if you want to run an event in your area, you're looking for I like to call it a turnkey event, because all you're doing is you reach out to us, trilogychallenge.com. Reach out to us, register your event. We send you the stuff for the players pack. We send you the stuff for the prizes. All you need to do is advertise it and then let people know what's going on and organize it and run an event. We've got 3 brand new discs from the different companies that we're super excited about. Have you thrown any of those, Eric?
I threw the Maiden.
Yeah.
I've thrown the Patrol.
I don't think anybody's.
And I don't think I've ever seen Is it the musket? I think Rusko
has one.
Rusko has one that he's being really stingy
I know.
with.
Yeah, he's just throwing it all the time. Like
He's not letting anybody else throw it.
No.
I'm going to disqualify him if he uses it today during his match.
Do it. PDGA rules.
Yep.
This isn't approved, but it might be
you
approved.
should do it right after he throws it. Say that.
I'll do it if he wins. I will just do it
after
then.
he wins? Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Totally.
So anyway, so you get 3 unreleased discs. I'm super excited to try them all, but I'm really excited about the Patrol because I've thrown that a couple of times and it looks
Kind of like the mid-range version of the Deputy. In a way.
I like that.
I mean, it's straight flying. It's understable.
Yeah, I like that.
But for you, I think that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you go out to Westside Discs Facebook page or even find Kyle Webster, he did some reviews on the Maiden. I know. I can't remember if he got a hold of the others, but just
I think it was just the Maiden.
So look for some videos out there that he's done some stuff on the Maiden. Now, of course, Eric and I will get out there and do our Is This Disc Right For You version of all 3 discs once we have them all here. That way you get to know a little bit more. But anyway, so get out there, trilogychallenge.com, and figure out what's going on. One more thing. Sorry, I'm super excited. It's really cool. I signed up for a service, and we are live on 3 different places. We're live on YouTube's Dynamic Discs YouTube channel. We're live on Dynamic Discs, Disc Golf Answer Man's Facebook page. And we did it.
We did it.
We're on
we
Twitch.
made it.
We're on Twitch.
Hey, all right.
So you should be able to find a Dynamic. Let's see. What's the username if you want to? I can't see it on here. Dynamic Discs as whole. I was upset because everything we have out there is Dynamic Discs, all one word. Someone already took that on Twitch.
Really?
And I couldn't find out who it was to kind of talk to him, say, hey, man, can I have
I follow somebody on Twitter called Dynamic Disc.
I found that one too without the S.
But they're like, it's more
Is it
like,
dynamic _ discs?
I think that's what I ended up doing.
Let me look.
No, it's just space.
Huh?
It's just a space.
Is it just
dynamic.
space? I could have swore I put an underscore in there.
Oh.
So anyway, you should be able to find us on Twitch.
Yeah. No, it's dynamic _ discs.
Yeah, so if you're a Twitch
Yes.
guy and you'd like to get all your information on Twitch, go to Dynamic Disc _ discs. What did I say?
Dynamic underscore discs. There you go.
And you should be able to find it. So good stuff there. We're going to try to do some more stuff on Twitch just because, I mean, if
I've never heard of it.
Because you've never heard of it?
Yeah.
More and more people are going over there. So that seems to be the cool place to be. And we want to hang out with the cool people.
Ooh, that's what
we're not going to give up on YouTube.
No, ever.
But sometimes there's some cool people at Twitch. We want to hang out there.
That's right.
All right. So we are going to, let me open up my speak pipe and we're going to hop over to the questions. Are you guys good with that?
Yes.
I did not pull it up. I did a search for it. And it is not called Spike Pipe. It is called Speak Pipe. So we'll head over there. We got some chatter going on the chat for YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. We got somebody named Smashbox TV just tuned in.
Get out.
I know. But they said that we need to get a camera that's called a PTZ optics camera. You can have preset movements and positions.
I know. I looked at that. But how much? They're like a couple thousand, aren't
I think they're only like $100, I'm pretty sure.
No,
that's not right. They're probably very expensive.
Johnny, if that's Johnny on Smashbox, if you know any good ones, send me a link and I'll check it out.
Or just send us one to test.
Yeah. Just mail it to us.
Yeah.
We'll definitely send it back to you.
So anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, we're going to hop into the questions and we're going to do some speak pipe. Unfortunately, I have wasn't able to preview these questions. So full disclosure, I don't know if YouTube will ban us based on any of these questions.
Yes.
Let's find out.
We've had good luck in the past, but we'll see.
Just be careful with Boo.
Yeah, that's true. Watch out for Boo. So let's answer some questions. Let's get fancy here. You ready? All right, guys, remember, as always, you can submit your questions at discgolfandgerman.com. We're going to open up the Google form specifically because Danny has one of his projects he's working on is he's going to answer some of your questions via video. So we're excited about that. So I'm going to open up the Google form after this episode so you can send in your questions. I can't guarantee that he'll answer all of yours. So he's just going to pick different ones and he'll put out on the YouTube channel for you guys to learn. But first, let's start out with SpeakPipe. This one's from Stacy.
Hi, I had a question about lights and glow tape on your discs. We play a lot of glow golf at night during the winter, and instead of taking the tape on and off or the lights on and off, are you allowed to play a PDGA event during the day with the lights still attached to your discs?
That's a good question.
You are not.
Yeah, the answer is negative there.
You are not allowed to really. What does the rule say? You're not allowed to.
It's anything that alters the weight.
Alters the weight of the disc. And adding a sticker or it's not really going to affect the flight too much, I don't think. But I think it even says you're not allowed to put lights or tape on the disc.
Or anything of, I think, detectable thickness is what they say. So some people could argue if you go crazy with paint or Sharpies or something like that, then maybe you'd be pushing the line. But something like tape definitely has a detectable thickness.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Simple. All right. Next one is from, fair warning. This one is from Robert McCall. As it says in here, and it's from the team manager at dynamicdisc.com. We know it's fake because that's not a real email address.
I didn't.
But fair warning. So I'm not sure if what this is going to be.
This is promising.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert, you're so cool and your hair is so pretty.
That's it?
That was it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I submitted that myself.
You needed some affirmation.
Wanted everyone to know.
All right.
Cool.
Let's move on to Matt.
All right. What's up, Disc Golf Answer Men? This is Matt from Memphis. So I have a question I don't think I've heard on the show so far. So I have, air quotes, bad form. Is it absolutely necessary to fix that bad form? I ask because I have a pretty bad rounding issue when I'm driving. But even with the rounding issue, I can still throw, an average like flat shot, like 400 feet. Downhill, I can put a little more extra on there, but I'm not dissatisfied with the distance I throw, and I don't seem to have a lot of accuracy issues that you'd associate traditionally with rounding. I guess that's just my question. Does the bad form have to be corrected if I'm happy with my game and don't really have any incredible issues with how I'm throwing at the moment? All right, guys, appreciate the show and everything you guys do for disc golf. Catch you later.
What do you guys think?
I think it kind of depends on what you want out of disc golf. I mean, fixing, quote, bad form could absolutely improve your game if you eliminate the rounding or whatever your bad form is. Who knows? Maybe you'll pick up a little bit more distance. Maybe you'll pick up a little bit more accuracy. So I think if you're happy with your game right now, who cares? Just keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to improve, there's no reason not to go out in the field and at least try, just to kind of see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. And I think depending on the extent to which your form is bad, yes, it could be really helpful to fix your form if you're doing something that could lend itself to injury or something that'll take you out of the game earlier than you need to be. But if you're happy with your form and it doesn't make you sore or anything like that, no, you don't have to go and fix anything. Now, I know that people who are more competitive, who are maybe tournament players or things like that, really love the process of trying to perfect something. And so a lot of people like that, like, I'm not happy with my backhand form, but I'm always working on it. I'm trying to find something that I can, focus in on and fix that will improve it. Not so that it looks any different necessarily. It probably will look different, but so that I get more consistent results, better results, things like that.
Yep.
So no, it's not necessary to do it. If you're happy, go for it. But if you want to improve, yeah, it would probably help.
Excellent. All right. Next one comes from Michael.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Men. This is Michael Blazer from Tyler, Texas. Got a quick question for you. Since I've been playing disc golf, I've used an index finger and thumb as my grip in my drives, and I'm only getting around 300 to 325, and I'm wanting to get a little more distance. Would changing my grip translate into more distance? If I had 2 or say 3 fingers on the disc instead as part of the grip, would that translate into better distance? Thank you guys for all that you do. The podcast is awesome. Bobby, keep up the good work, along with Eric and Robert. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Michael.
I'm trying to figure out the grip you're talking about. Your index finger and your thumb, if they come together on the flight plate, then you absolutely should kind of tweak that up a little bit. I feel like you'll get a lot more distance, more accuracy as well.
Sure. Especially if those are the only 2 fingers that you're using.
Yes. Especially if those are the only 2. Well, I mean, I think it is, because he had even said using 2
should I add more? Yeah.
I think 3 is a good starting point for you to go to at this point. A lot of people use the 4 power grip and whatnot. I use more of a modified stacked grip is what I call it.
What does that look like?
I don't necessarily. The pinky is on and off.
That's how I am too.
It depends on what kind of shot I'm throwing. So sometimes the pinky I'll tuck under, but most of the time it is on the rim if I'm trying to throw a big power shot.
Yep.
Yes, I would absolutely give it a try. Like we said with the last question, it's not going to hurt anything to just give it a try. It's going to feel really, really weird at first, but in the long run, it'll kind of just become more natural.
I have to assume that if you're going from pinching between your thumb and index finger, that adding a couple of fingers will probably give you a lot more control over the flight plate, and therefore more control over the flights and angles that you can produce.
Yeah.
So I would definitely
give it a try. See what happens.
Yeah. And like you said, it's going to feel weird. Don't give up on it right after the beginning. Oh, hey man, nice. Don't give up on it until you've really tried it out for a while and have tested it instead of just doing it once and be like, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I will not take that call, and we will go to the next question.
Maybe it's a question.
Maybe it could be. Maybe.
Hey guys, love the show. Just got a quick question. I am pretty basic and I putt with deputies. Now I'm trying to get my shirt to match my deputies. When are the burst deputies coming out? Thanks. Love the show.
Are they out? Aren't they out?
The
Aren't
classic soft burst are out for sure.
Oh, okay.
He didn't specify which plastic, right?
No.
I'm assuming it's more of a prime or a harder plastic that he uses.
Yeah.
And right now we just have those made for page peers for fundraisers. So we've got some of the deputy with the 2Ps bar stamp. And then I know that
plastic are those?
I think those are prime.
Hit up Paige Pierce.
Pretty sure.
Right? I mean, does she have them?
She's got some. And then I know that we're working on releasing some to some of our wholesale customers. So you might be looking for those in local stores. But yeah, you can always message Paige, and if she has some, maybe she'd sell some to you. Who knows?
I picked up a classic soft deputy, and it's a burst one. It's really nice, pink and red. But I've never putted with a soft putter, so I'm anxious to see it. Tomorrow night will probably be the first night. Actually, I have it in my bag here. I might go here later tonight and practice because I don't know. Some people are saying they really like that soft plastic.
I think you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
that's how I am.
I'm afraid that I won't like the feel.
Yeah.
Is it because of the feel coming out of your hand? That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Of the feel coming out of my hand.
I think so. I think a lot of it is the feel. And also with the soft plastic, the problem is summer's just around the corner. And for me, I don't like my putter to be super just
like a pizza, like a slice of pizza. That's just
yeah. I would sacrifice a little bit of grabbing the chains, and I'm not sure how much more it is between a soft putter, blend putter, hard putter for confidence when it's in my hand. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I got you.
Super fast. We have a super chat from Johnny V here. He gave us $1.
Hey, thanks, Johnny V.
Thanks, Johnny. He says, hey, I have never super chatted before.
Thanks, buddy.
We are happy to receive your super chat. Thank you for tuning into the show.
So do we split that $1 3 ways?
Yes, that's going to be 33 cents, 33 cents, 34 cents from me in y'all's face.
Johnny,
how about we get 33 and he gets a penny? He's running the camera.
Yeah, penny goes to Danny. Good call.
All right.
So since you're new to Super Chat, Johnny, I got to let you know that if you're in the know with YouTube, you really haven't Super Chatted until you do $50 Super Chats.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's not like an official rule. It's just something people say.
Right. It's kind of,
he's not wrong.
Yeah. But honestly, thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
We like you guys.
All right. Next one comes from Joe.
Hi, Disc Golf Answer Men. This is Joe from Pennsylvania here. I wanted to increase my drive from 300 to 500 feet this summer, and I was wondering what flight numbers I should be looking for when I buy my new discs. All right, that's a joke. Just kidding.
Good,
Sorry,
because I was about to pause you and never let you run again.
You go.
My real question isn't actually a question, it's more of a favor. In 1 month from today, which is March 27th, my wife and I are celebrating our 10-year anniversary.
Nice.
I'd love to pick her up some great plastic to take on a course with us as we throw together. I've come across a problem, though. She hates to play disc golf.
What?
She loves to listen to you guys. She can recognize all the pros. Even went down and walked around Moraine State Park during the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open last year.
Nice.
But she refuses to try and play. My favor is, maybe with some gentle encouragement from the 3 wise men of disc golf, you would actually go out and try a round with me. Her name is Chrissy. She also goes by the moniker, the Honey Bear. Any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Keep up the great work.
All right, Honey Bear. Here's my plea to you. I don't even know. If you really love your husband, easy words.
You guys are celebrating together.
That's my joke. I would not. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Actually, you know what I was thinking?
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not.
You can get out there and play with your man. I would have to say that completely. I would have to say, honestly, what was coming to my mind as he was telling us the story, what he wanted, it was that the anniversary is a celebration for both of you, right? Because you both are celebrating that you, quote, survived each other, that you are, marriage.
Most people choose different verbiage for anniversaries, by the way, just so we're on the same page.
But we all know
survived each other another year.
Marriage takes work.
Definitely, no doubt.
It takes work for two people to stay together through thick and thin. So to me, it's a kind of a celebration. You know, we made it another year. Woo! No, no, but we were able to. Whatever happened, comes our way. We were able to stay through it together. Now I know some people probably have different thoughts on the what do they call it, the something of marriage, the institution of marriage.
There you
go. But if she doesn't want to play, if she likes to follow the pros, she loves listening to the three wise men, and she's all into it except throwing, let her just watch you play around a disc golf.
That's true. It is pretty awesome that she actually came out to an event.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
in the rain too.
I mean, some wives and girlfriends don't even want to do that. Now you've got one that at least has some interest in it.
It'll come.
Yeah,
I think it'll come if she wants it, I guess.
Right. She has to want it. It's just like the advice that I've heard from all kinds of people about getting my girlfriend or wife to play, and then you get them out there, and then you try to, help them with their form. Oh, honey, you should be doing this. This is what you should. You can't. You got to let them learn. If they want to learn to get better, they'll do it.
I'll take the counterpoint on this one, Honey Bear. No, that's not. I'm not really going to. But I will say, when my wife and I go out to play disc golf, it always goes better whenever I just hand her a few discs, ones that I know that she likes. So for her, she throws a Thief quite a bit. That's kind of her stable disc that'll usually finish left for her. She'll throw a Sear or a Mall sometimes if she wants something to work over to the right. And then she throws an Original Truth, and she putts with a Warden because, I mean, come on, best disc. Anyways, and when if she asks me for help, I'll offer help. But otherwise, we're just throwing and just talking about life, and it's great. So if you want to do that, I would grab her a few discs that are easy to throw, and if she wants to throw, then great. Don't give her too much coaching. Just go
any at first.
Yeah. No. Just say, hey, I just told my wife the very first time we played, just think like you're pulling the disc across a tabletop. Like you just want to pull it back flat and let it go flat and follow through flat. That's really all that you want to do. And after that, if she asks, you can help. If not, just go have a good time.
There you go.
And if she doesn't want to, like Shay could probably go play tournaments if she wanted to. She would certainly never win any right now or anything like that.
That's because she doesn't have an EMAC Truth in her bag.
That's true. Yeah,
and you're never going to win.
That's true. Ever. And no one has ever won a tournament without an EMAC Truth in their bag. That's what I've heard.
Even people that aren't sponsored by
fake.
us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fake news.
Yeah. They had it somewhere in their bag.
That's right. They just didn't know it.
No.
Yeah. I stash them all over the place.
That's right. Like she enjoys playing, but even then, she doesn't really care to go to tournaments because she would rather just walk with me while I play.
Right.
And so if that's the way that y'all support each other, cool. And that is how we support each other. But either way, Chrissy / Honey Bear, we really appreciate your support and you supporting your husband. And if you like throwing discs, that's cool. And if you don't, that's cool too. Why don't you do you? Or why don't you be you?
You be you.
I'll be me.
It reminds me, the Honey Bear reminds me of Pulp Fiction, the guy's Honey. Is he called a Honey Bear or Honey Bun?
The Honey Bear.
The Honey Bear.
Remember? No, in the movie.
From
remember
what?
Pulp Fiction?
Oh, don't remember
the people at the restaurant?
It's been so long since I've watched Pulp Fiction.
Maybe YouTube, if you're watching, you can remind me.
You let us know out there.
Honey Bun.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking. I saw your Instagram, Eric, because when you travel, if you want to know what Eric's doing and how he's traveling for course design or whatever, make sure you follow him on Instagram. Ralph McCabe? No,
false.
I always get that wrong.
There is a Ralph McCabe one out there, but it's Eric underscore McCabe.
Right. So what he does is he'll take some EMAC Truth with him and he'll plant them in different places for people to find. And you planted one in Arizona, right?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I remember when I first saw it, I thought, man, that's kind of an obvious
at the memorial, right? Was that the one you were talking about, or are you talking about the one this trip?
This trip.
Okay, yeah. It was very obvious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a very obvious place.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so if you ever are in the area where Eric is traveling to, make sure you pay attention to his Instagram because you might get yourself.
Yeah, that one is very obvious. There's a few out there that are hidden enough that there's a chance they're still there.
Don't you put something on the back that says like use a hashtag?
It's a little piece of paper. It just kind of says, when you find this, please use the hashtag. Thanks, EMAC, just so I can see it.
And that it was found.
Yeah. A lot of people will make the post when they find it, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just gone, and who knows?
A couple people on the board are saying Honey Bunny. is
Honey Bunny, maybe it was, yeah.
And then we also have love the 3 Wise Men of DD t-shirt idea. So just
there you go. Christmas. Take a note.
Just think about it. Thanks, Jeremy. Okay. Next question.
Actually, you guys were, for your samples of holding forms, you were actually holding a stock stamp of the Captain and the Maverick. And the reason I grabbed these is because these actually come out April 13th, which is in a few days. These stock stamps. Friday at 11 a.m. Central, they get released. But you've got the Captain, Robert. Explain to us, what is the Captain?
So the Captain is a high-speed distance driver, a little bit more on the understable side than some other distance drivers that we have. This is a really good complement to something like the Sheriff. If you really like the Sheriff but want something that turns just a little bit more, that you can throw straight for a little bit longer, the Captain will be your Huckleberry. It is a speed 13 disc, and it will stay in the air for quite a while. It does have some natural turn to it and then a subtle fade to it, not like a spike back fade. Some people have been calling it a little bit longer trespass, and I think it's pretty close to that. It might be a little more. Well, it honestly depends on your arm. You just need to try it out. I like it. It's a great disc for sure.
Would you say it's more for maybe
it's people trying to make
not really beginner, huh?
No, not beginner.
Yeah.
But it'd probably be people who are trying to maybe like take a step up in their distance.
Yeah.
Like they like a Renegade right now and they want something with a similar flight path, maybe a little bit over stability and a little bit more speed. This is going to be a really good disc for that. Or somebody who's just looking to let something go, like if they're throwing 350, 400 feet, let something go on a little bit of hyzer and just have it ride to the right for almost all of its flight. Not turn and burn really, but just kind of just hold over. It can be thrown really smoothly and get a really long flight without having to like crush it.
That's what I've noticed about it. I could throw it at like 80% and get a lot of distance out.
For sure.
That's when I think it was me, you, and Anthony that played last week, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was throwing the Captain a few times, and then I would throw a trespass, and I would notice very similar flight, but yes, the Captain would maybe go a little bit longer for me, so I really want to throw it a little bit more to get used to the flight.
For sure. By the way, that breakfast was really good.
That's right. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that there was we made a bet, because we always tell you guys, put something on the line.
And I saw the score, the card. It just kind of looked like fatigue set in for Bobby, because
Bobby had a rough back nine.
It was a little red on the back nine.
It was. So we put breakfast on the line because we wanted something on the line. So what it was is we gave me all the handicaps and stuff, but I ended up losing, so I had to take Robert and Anthony out to breakfast.
Right.
Where'd you guys go?
What was it called?
Tortas El Toro.
Yeah, it was
breakfast.
Have you ever been?
Breakfast burritos.
Breakfast tacos.
I have never been there for it. It was good.
Yeah, it's a big old breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big.
When it came out and I opened the aluminum or whatever, and I noticed that the tortilla was toasted, I knew I was in for a treat. I knew it was done right.
Mm-hmm. They have the Mexican bottles of Coke. Fantastic.
Oh, that's right.
El
That's
Marble.
what you got.
Yeah. Similar?
Yeah, similar.
Yeah.
And,
very authentic.
So anyway, that was good. So as the weather gets nicer, I think we need to do this again. Maybe incorporate Mr. Eric McCabe and see.
I will
interested.
take
Maybe we'll do
6 handicap strokes. Thank you.
False.
No, I will not.
So
we just tied last night at the country club.
That's true.
Not happening
Today?
And I had 3
that is true.
18 at the country club.
That was a super good 3
to do it. So
really?
I didn't know where our scores were at.
I
was
knew
just
because I had the U disc.
Yeah.
I was using U disc, and I looked at it going into 18. I saw that Robert had me by 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man. And I see Robert and Danny both had their trespasses out, and I'm like, that's a really good choice because it just kind of gets you across, gets you in the middle, and I'm like, nah, man,
Ballista Pro
as hard as I can.
I need to get you my Ballista Pro.
Yes, you do. But no, so it was great, and then I threw a nice Lucid X trespass
on a hyzer. Yeah,
3 feet.
It was gross. So, yeah, really? I was just blissfully ignorant. I was just, hey, I'm playing frisbee.
Look at me trying to throw a roller up this hill, and it cuts all the way out to the left.
I didn't know. I wasn't going to get a 3. I didn't really care what I did.
That's true.
We use the UDisc app as well. I know we talk about that a lot, guys, but if you
UDisc is awesome.
If you need I know that there's a lot of apps out there and stuff, but I'm very familiar with the UDisc app, so I definitely would recommend picking that up. download it. You can get the free version where you just put in scores and stuff. But
I highly recommend paying for it.
I know.
Do the pay version.
I used it for me and Robert and Anthony, and then at the end of the round, I was able to share our scorecard so they could do it. And Anthony, of course, shared it on Facebook because he was proud of his back nine and stuff like that. So,
well, I mean, keep your stats.
Yes.
How your birdie ratios, your pars, your what courses you've played.
Yeah,
all that's pretty cool.
Something else also I keep forgetting to mention, but we used to have a PDGA discount code if you become a new member, and we now have it back. And the code is, get something right, with DGAM_new 20. 20 DGAM_NEW 20.
Is that case sensitive?
Case sensitive or no?
That I don't know. He sent it to me all caps, so I would go with that.
Okay.
It's only for new members. Okay. You can't use it as a renewal discount. It's 20% off brand new members. All right, let's get back to the questions. Next one is from Anonymous.
What's up, guys? How's it going? So my question, I have two, one with form, one with timing. The timing one, how do you sync up your follow through with your final plant foot, and any tips for that, just to really time out the throw right? And second question.
Okay, let's do the first one.
Timeout, follow through with your final plant foot. Is that what?
You want me to play it again?
It was his timing basically is what it was asking. His plant foot and his release basically.
Okay,
was asking
yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. So Danny's behind the camera, so I'm going to say some things, and if I'm wrong, he's going to tell me if I'm wrong. So in general, when you're throwing a backhand throw, you want your the apex of your reach back, as far as you're going to reach back, to hit about the same time your leading foot hits the ground. Right around the time that your foot hits the ground, that's when you want to start pulling forward, and that's kind of that's the timing that you're looking for. So farthest back point is you're reaching back as your foot is headed toward the ground. As soon as it hits the ground, that you're as far back as you're going to be, then you start pulling forward. Yeah,
good. Danny agrees. We got the Danny seal of approval. Next one is from AA.
Oh, he's got a second part.
Did you delete it?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Here we go. My bad.
Question. So I recently have been having trouble with my back. My other arm has been kind of not getting in the way, but I've been taking the disc, and when I reach back, it goes under my other arm. So I know that's pretty much an easy fix, but I played in a weekly doubles league the other day when it started happening, and they said that I could get more distance if I really threw my shoulder with my, I don't know, twisted with it, I guess. I just want to know if there's any tips for that, if I should even be doing that, or if I should think about it at all. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Hope that was understandable. Thanks.
What do you guys got?
Talk about what your off arm looks like.
Weird.
Well,
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's always down to my side.
And then he has that.
Yeah, my hand's usually spread out.
I didn't mean the hand, but
the distance. But,
but I always, when I take pictures of him, I always mention that.
It's always the same. That's something I strive in, I believe. Just always be the same.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Consistency.
Yeah. If you strive to have the jazz hand.
I do, that too. If he's... the question was, he brings it underneath. Mm-hmm. I know I've seen a lot of people do this, and I'll bring it up to them if they want the information. It's nothing like I see a guy doing it, and I've played.
Pardon me, sir. Stop.
Like Derek upstairs. I played a lot of rounds with him, and I never told him that his form is awful.
Right.
Hope he's watching.
In your face.
You don't yell at him like you do.
No, I didn't. I used to yell at Bobby, but no, one day we did tell him, like, hey, you're coming under. If you go over, you're probably going to get more distance. And he did. Mm-hmm. He instantly was noticing more distance. One drill I know that I've told a couple people that have worked, it's going to be weird at first, but this is just to get the mechanics down and get the feel down, is just put your left hand in your pocket when you're playing. Just for nice approaches, throwing a few shots. If you keep that hand in the pocket, it really makes it difficult to go underneath it. That way you can get the feel for it, and then you can move forward later on. So that's just kind of a quick tip on how to first start in the right direction.
Yeah, just to even feel it.
Yeah, just to get a good feel for what the it's gonna feel like.
Exactly. There are some people who throw under their arm and absolutely smash, like Double G, Bobby Music, like
I just got about me,
Bobby, yeah, Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Right.
There are some people that do that, and honestly, that's something that they've done for so long that it's ingrained, and they've learned to make it work with their timing. In general, that isn't the best way to do it because you are bringing your shoulders in instead of allowing them to work together. So now, instead of everything moving as one, you're having to work against yourself to get the disc out. Okay, so when I'm trying to teach somebody to keep their off arm, not from going under it or over it or anything like that, I just try and teach that you want your shoulders to stay about this far apart all the time, and then your arms are connected. So anything you do with your right arm, you're mirroring with your left, right? Ideally, at the end, you want your left arm to be close to your side and tucked in so that you don't create drag or anything like that. But all the rest of the time, you want your shoulders to be connected to one another so that you're not working against yourself. That's why I think you lose some distance here, is because you're pulling against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed? Agreed.
All right. Something I wanted to what do you call it? What does it call it when a newspaper, a retraction or a clarification?
Redacted.
On last episode, we were talking about the Dirty Kansas and Glass Won't Open.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about, Robert was talking about the economic impact of both, because they have both of them have a huge economic impact. And there was kind of, I listened to it again because someone had mentioned to me that they didn't understand, or they found it hard to, or they were surprised that Dirty Kansas brought in more, had a bigger impact than Glass Won't Open. And I think that's because there was some crosstalk, and that caused the confusion. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not a huge deal, but I wanted to make sure anybody listening understood. I listened to it, and what was happening, Robert was talking about the economic impact, and Eric had been talking about both events, and Eric interjected and said, and DK is bigger than, or no,
brings in more people.
Well, you didn't. That's the confusion. You said, and GBO is not even close to the size of DK.
Okay.
And so the confusion was people thought we were talking about the economic impact, whereas Eric was talking about the fact that
participants,
because DK can reach. I think they reached a little over 2,000 participants, and this will be the first year that we hit the 1,600 mark, whereas the year before it was 1,142
something.
Mm-hmm. So that's. So just quick, it's not a huge deal, but it did kind of get me that people thought some misinformation was put out there. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick. Now we move on to AA Ron.
What's up, Bobby Cool That Slick Breeze, Eric E. Mac McCabe, Robert soon to be 1,000 rated McCall.
Nope.
And I'd also like to give a shout out to Danny and Anthony if they happen to be there.
They are both here.
My name's Aaron. I'm from Alabama. And I just wanted to shoot a quick question over there. I wanted to ask, I live in a city in Northeast Alabama that doesn't currently have a disc golf course, but they've asked us to make a presentation to send to the city council. I was wondering if I could get some input on what you guys think we should do to try to convince them to build a disc golf course in our town. All right. I'd love to hear your feedback, and you guys keep it real.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, there's no way to really answer that fully.
I mean, just every city that I've worked with has been different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own politics, their own red tape, their own everything that you got to jump through to get the course in the ground, even just to be talked about.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is really, the PDJ I know has a lot of information that you can download for number wise on their membership and tournaments, and just to kind of take that to the council, be like, this is how it's grown in the last 10 years. You can absolutely use Emporia, Kansas as a reference. I know a lot of people do. I try to do that whenever I'm talking with a city. The Glass Won't Open, just the event itself, what it does for the city of Emporia. Stuff like that you can really put together in a nice spreadsheet. Just one thing I would suggest if you're actually going to go give a presentation is just try to be as professional as possible. Be prepared to get questions from left field because they have probably no idea on any of it. Like
disc golf is,
the side that the land you're going to need, the cost, every single thing. And if you need a quote or anything like that, as far as maybe not design, but if you want design, I'd be more than happy to help out. But baskets, tee signs, all of that, shoot us an email at coursesales@dynamicdiscs.com. We could put together a quote so you can take that quote to the council. That way you'll have a good understanding of the price involved as well.
Yeah.
Super fast on the board. I got a question. How many acres do you need to make a course safely?
That's a broad question,
but let's just say general guideline.
Typically, if it's going to be a championship course, I like 1.5 acres to 2 acres a hole.
Okay,
roughly.
Cool.
There you go.
Of usable land that doesn't count like the parking lots, that kind of stuff. So
not like the soccer fields that we were talking about earlier.
In my mind, I would think that a general, maybe it may seem like common sense, but just advice is that when you go to these people to tell them about disc golf, don't tell them in generalities. They have probably a lot of people coming to them wanting stuff from them to do things in their town. So you can't just come to them with general things like disc golf's amazing. People love it. We would have so many people come. You've got to give them a lot of information to help them decide whether they're going to take that next step. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, because I've encountered this, people don't understand, is that they don't have the love or the passion that you have for disc golf. So you may think in your mind that disc golf is the greatest thing since sliced bread, but to them it's just another thing wanting money from them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So in other words, don't let that get you down. If they don't seem as excited for it as you are in your presentation, it's okay. It's just you just got to let them know, and they've got to learn more and more about disc golf. So Anyway, we keep us updated, Aaron. And like Eric said, reach out to us if you need some information on quotes. Next one comes from Brandon.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Brandon from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And my question to you guys was about the distance drivers from the entire Trilogy lineup. I've been throwing a mixed bag for about 12 years and recently just went to the Trilogy family. Really love the plastic, and I like sticking with the same type of plastic. And your guys' discs from West Side to Dynamic to Latitude has been fantastic, and my bag has been on lockdown except for my drivers. Turning over Sheriffs, by the Defenders are too overstable, and I like throwing this, like the Fusion, the Gold, and the Tournament plastic. I just feel like I get a better grip in my hand, and I'm trying to find a disc that's in between the two. And I've been throwing Halos for a good little bit now, but I feel like they're not holding up against the wind like I would like them to. So I'm just trying to get another idea of what you guys think for a guy like me that throws about 400 to 425. Thank you for the answer. Thank you for everything you guys do for the sport, and keep going. Cheers.
What do you guys got for him?
I think it's a disc that both of us have been throwing quite a bit. I'll let you talk about it for sure.
I think the Trespass is a really good choice. It's probably, I know you said you're flipping your Sheriff over. I think the Trespass is going to be a little bit more overstable than the Sheriff. It's going to hold up a little bit more. Now, it's not much of a wind fighter. If you're flipping your Halo, you're possibly going to flip over your Trespass as well. My distance bag right now is, if it's more of an open field and I'm just looking to rip, it's the Ballista Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, the Ballista Pro. It flies longer than any disc I've thrown in quite some time. And then kind of a step down from that, if it gets windy, if I have any type of a headwind, massive headwind, I'm throwing Bio Defenders, Bio Enforcers, more so Bio Enforcers lately, because it'll hold up to that wind a little bit longer. And then, of course, the Trespass is in there as well for downwind, kind of left to right wind. And I always like to tone back on them too, and maybe not put 100% power into it, tone it back to 85, maybe 90%. To get more accurate, consistent distance.
Definitely. So yeah, the disc that I would suggest in your situation, if defenders are a little too overstable for you, I really like the Ballista Pro. It's still an overstable disc. Don't hear it as anything else. Yep. It will go left.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple. But if you're throwing around that 400-foot mark, maybe up to 425, you can get a little right movement out of it if you start it right, or if you start it, close to flat and let it move a little bit right. I think it's got a great stability and a really good speed for people who have been waiting for something like that. One other really good option, and it's only available in limited quantities right now. Actually, it's not available at all right now because we sold out, but eventually it will be out again, is the Lucid X Trespass. That is the Eric McCabe Tour Series Lucid X Trespass.
Correct.
And Lucid X is a plastic that is a little bit stiffer than Lucid plastic. So you won't get as you can see right here, I can move this one around pretty well. I can do the same with Lucid X, but just to a smaller extent. It's very, very firm plastic. And in general, the way that those discs mold up, allows them to fly a little bit more overstable than just their Lucid or Fusion counterparts. I know that you like the Fusion plastic. This is, I think, a plastic worth checking out, is Lucid X Trespass once we restock them.
Yes. I will also say, you said it's really stiff. It is really stiff, but when I was in Arizona, it felt like just a regular old Lucid disc.
Oh, good. Okay,
and
cool.
It had the same flight.
Yeah.
So, when it gets a little bit warmer, like it pretty much does everywhere, it feels more like the Lucid plastic. I know you like the Fusion Goldline TP plastic, but it is pretty grippy and durable. It is stiffer, so it does kind of have that tackiness to it.
It's good. All the Lucid X discs that I've thrown have been really good.
And I got an ace with one already.
Oh,
that was cool.
You say first throw out of the car, right?
First throw out of the car.
I'll just play a nice casual. Okay, ace.
Okay, I'm going home.
Cool.
So another disc that we have here on the table is the stock stamp Maverick. That's of course coming in the Lucid plastic. So Eric, tell us about the Maverick.
The Maverick is great. A lot of people don't know, but this disc was named after my dog. That's probably not true, but no, it's one of those discs. Unlike the Captain, the Captain is not really going to be a disc for everybody, but all skill levels can enjoy the Maverick. Beginners, it's an understable fairway driver. So for me personally, I don't have one in my bag at the moment. I will absolutely put one in the bag when I go out east, or if I'm playing a more wooded course for the hyzer flips, because I can get the EMAC to do a lot of what I can get the Maverick to do, or the Getaway Explorer type thing. But it is an absolute great disc. I know a lot of people are very, very excited, especially get the stock runs out, because right now it's only available in, we had the first runs and the SEs out. But it's for a player like Robert, and I know Robert throws the disc a lot
all the time.
And Anthony, he liked it, but I don't think he's in love with it. But it's a great hyzer flip up for us. For Robert and I, we can put it on a nice hyzer line, flip the flat, and it'll kind of hold that right line. For me, when I put a lot of power behind it, there's no question it's going to move to the right and possibly finish more straight than left. It doesn't really have that dump factor. So if you're looking for one of those kind of just finishes straight, and when it does lose speed, it may kind of fade off to the left, as opposed to just kind of dump like a lot lot of fairway drivers.
That's what I like about it, is that I can get it to go pretty straight, but then if it, I guess sometimes when I used to throw my trespass, if I didn't throw it right, it would dump so hard to the left. It'd be like, man, it's like I get punished even more.
Right.
But with the Maverick, it's not going to do that so much.
Yeah, for me, it turns a lot more slowly than a lot of our other discs, and I like that a lot. So I like that I can throw the Maverick straight if I want to, 70 or 75% power and a little bit of hyzer, and it'll just go straight and just stay that way. Or if I really want to get on it, I can throw a little bit more hyzer, a little bit harder, and it'll tip up to flat and just ride to the right. But it doesn't just whip up flat and then cruise to the right really fast. It just kind of does it all really gradually and slowly. And so it's really easy to work on different lines. That's what I like about the Maverick.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, we got time for a couple more questions. Let's see. This one's from Benjami Pesonen, aka Penku, the hot dog.
This is promising.
Yeah.
Hello, Disc Golf Answerman. This is Benjamin Pesonen from Finland.
Just like you
I
said.
have
You
a couple
almost
of
nailed
questions.
it.
My first question is specifically for you, Eric. I really hope you're in the studio right now. My question is about the Mercy. I currently putt with Prime Judge. I absolutely love it. And unlike you, I love it like super old and beat it up. But I find it kind of weird that I have to beat it up for over 1 year, that it's good for me. So I was wondering that would Mercy be like a beat it up Prime Judge? And the Mercies you use, do you use it with a retro line plastic, or what plastic do you use it with? I'm pretty interested about it because I feel like I have the same kind of putt that you do. So I was wondering then, why did you switch for Mercy? And the second question is that when is the Lucid Deputies coming out? Thanks a lot, guys.
Cool.
All right, Rob, what do you got to say?
It's a good. I was going to say it's a good time for this question because several people have been asking that on the board. Why'd you switch from Judge to Mercy?
Oh, okay,
so it's
there
perfect.
you go.
Mercy.
Mercy.
Yeah, when I first made the switch over, I was using the Mercy in the Easy line plastic. And then the Judge came out, and I really wanted to use the Judge. Really wanted it to be good for me. And I used it for a year and a half, and it was working pretty well. But I noticed I would miss short left on putts that were 45 and out. Putts that, I used to be able to just throw straight at and jam. And something I didn't like, after I actually sat down and thought about it, was I didn't like the thought that I had to adjust my putt. Mm-hmm. I had to change my putt as opposed to keeping the natural stroke that I'm used to and letting the disc do the work. And yes, absolutely. The Mercy has done that for me because I'm more of a straight line right at the basket. Maybe a slight hyzer into it at the very end if it's a longer putt. But with the Judge, I noticed I was coming up short a lot. And to me, there's nothing worse than coming up short on a putt, especially if it's a birdie putt or trying to save par or anything like that. There's nothing worse than coming up short.
So frustrating.
Got to give it a chance. And I didn't like that I had to change my form and change my game almost just for my putt, something that I was known for, was jamming putts. So I tried the Mercy out again. Here lately, I've been using it in the medium plastic. When it gets a little warmer, the retro will absolutely go in the bag. Maybe even the hard line. The thing about the Mercy I've noticed across the board as far as the plastic types go, the baseline plastics at least, there's not really much difference in flight.
Yeah.
Some putters you can kind of tell, well, the hard one's a little bit more stable. These, it just seems like they're nice and straight. Feels good in my hand. It doesn't have a big bead or anything like that on it that I could catch, and it just comes out of the hand smooth and flies dead straight. Yep. So that's why I went back to the Mercy, and it's been a great decision.
Yeah, he's made a lot of putts.
A lot more
lately.
putts. A lot more longer putts.
Definitely.
Is really all it is. I didn't really have trouble with the Judge hitting putts, inside 20.
Most everything's close enough to the same in there.
Yeah, but it was like the circle's edge and outside that really I didn't feel comfortable, and you have to feel comfortable.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to spoil anything if you haven't watched the video, but if you go and watch the Monkey Island Open tournament earlier this year. Yeah. Well, here's a spoiler. On hole 4, Eric jams like a 70-footer.
It was
something
big.
like that. I was trying to get into position. I didn't think he was ready to putt just yet, so I only saw the very tail end of it. But I saw how far he was from the basket, and it was a pretty good putt.
It was solid.
It was an average 70-footer.
Yeah.
It was sweet though. So yeah, go and check that video. Obviously, big shout to Anthony and Bobby for getting that recorded.
Yes. And then the second part of his question.
Anthony and Daniel.
Lucid Deputies.
The Lucid Deputies.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Anthony and Danny. My bad. Bobby doesn't even do video stuff anymore. That's what I heard.
I took a nap.
Sorry, Danny.
I feel like there's some Lucid Deputies out there, I believe. Yeah. I know that there's the Moonshine that's out there you can get in fundraiser type stuff. You throw a Lucid Deputy?
I have one.
Where'd you get it?
Piney Woods Open.
Piney Woods Open. Was it Moonshine or is it Lucid?
No, it's Lucid.
They're available as tournament fundraisers.
Yeah, Piney Woods last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Noemi had
I didn't know that they were available last year.
Did she win or get second? Anyway, she had some merch credit, and so
that's
she was like, She was like, I don't have, Bobby, what do you want? And I was like, no, Amy,
give me 3 of these.
That's what I said, you won. You get what you want, some stuff. And then I said, are those Lucid deputies? Hey, no, can I get a couple of these? So she got me a couple of Lucid deputies.
Awesome.
So
they're out there. They're just tournament fundraisers at the moment.
Yeah. All right. One last question. This is from JT. What you got for us, JT? He ain't got nothing.
He ain't got nothing.
Now he does.
Hey, Bobby Cool, spelled with 20 O's, Daddy Slickeries. Eric, whose follow-throughs make his back look like the head of the girl in The Exorcist McCabe. And Robert, which one's more important to you, the 1,000 rating or the good hair McCall? And any other special guests that might be joining the Disc Golf Answer Man crew today. This is JT from Texas. Thank you for taking my previous questions. I have one quick one for you today. I've been playing for about 2 years now, and have recently been thinking about challenging myself at tournaments. I've been going to more tournaments, and I'm starting to think about going up in a division. I was wondering what advice you have to someone who's looking to do that, whether it be physical or mental. I understand that surrounding myself with people who are better than me and getting my butt kicked for a while is a good thing and a good way to do that. But I was wondering if you guys had any tips. Should I start going for shots that I'm not normally used to making, challenging myself to make longer, more difficult throws, or should I just casually let my game develop? What should my mind be doing? What should I be doing before and after a tournament in order to learn and get better? Whatever advice you guys may have, I'd appreciate. Thank you guys again for what you do for the culture and the community and growing the sport. I look forward to hearing your answer, and keep hucking the discs. Thanks.
Thanks, JT.
It's a good question.
Off the bat, I would say don't start doing things differently just because you want to move up a division. That's what I would say. At least
stay in your own game at all times.
Yes. Now you can go, and I like playing up a division so that you can see what's possible, but that doesn't mean that you do that every single time. A good example is if Eric and I go play a course. Actually, a great example is Jones East. We go play that all the time. Hole 5 is a par 4. It plays 470, 480 uphill. Eric almost always goes, actually basically always goes for the green. I almost never go for the green. And I play with, he's better than me. I play with him. I watch him do it every time. And he gets there probably, I don't know, 80, 90% of the time. He gets there.
I would say 90% of the time I'm inbounds.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe not parked or whatever, but you're plenty safe for sure. But that's just not my game. And so learning from people and watching what's possible, that's helpful, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that thing. So I wouldn't challenge you to, stretch yourself by playing shots that are out of your comfort zone. I would stick to your game and just improve in that game. Don't like say you never throw a forehand and you watch somebody throw a forehand on a hole, then decide this is the time for me to throw a forehand. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you say?
I agree 100% there. Now there's obviously times when you need to be going for certain things, right, if you're trying to chase down a lead or something like that. But for the most part, overall, I would just suggest staying in your own game and letting your own game develop and spending more time on the practice field than in the tournament field.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. Because you can always improve on your distance. You can always improve on your putting. You can always improve on the different shots that you have. But moving up a division shouldn't be the thing that drives you to do that. It should be that if you want to improve, you're going to be working on those things.
Yes.
Like for me, a thing I've been working on lately is I consider myself a pretty good putter, not like the best putter in the world, but I make a lot of putts. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed, and I've known this for a while, but I didn't understand the degree to which it messed me up. I've noticed how much hyzer my putts will come out on sometimes. If I'm maybe a little nervous over the situation or something like that, my wrist is just naturally angled for a hyzer. And that's fine when there's no wind, and it's less fine when there's any wind. And guess what? We live in Kansas.
Yeah.
And there is wind. So something I've been trying to work on is flattening that putt out. Not because anybody else does it. Eric starts his putts mostly on like a nose up and maybe a touch of anhyzer. That just doesn't feel comfortable to me, but I can flatten out my putt because it's advantageous to have a flatter release so I don't get batted around by the wind as much. So there are always going to be aspects of your game that you can work on. Moving up a division shouldn't be the thing that drives that. It's that you want to improve. So that's what I would do.
Excellent. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks to you guys for YouTube, Twitch, and Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook page for tuning in. It was fun. I think things seem to go fairly smoothly with pushing this out to
it's great.
3 different channels, so that's really cool. If you are a person on Twitch, make sure you follow us, dynamic_discs. We're going to see what kind of fun stuff we do out on Twitch just to kind of experiment with that platform a little bit. If you follow us on the Answer Man and you're wondering about the fantasy disc golf picks, we're going to record that later. So we're going to end this live feed and then we'll record that later on for the audio podcast. So make sure you follow us, our audio stuff. And we like to put a lot of different stuff out there that we're not always going to go live with. So make sure you follow us. Just look for Disc Golf Answer Man in your favorite podcast app. Make sure you pick up a Disc Golf Answer Man t-shirt that are still available at the Dynamic Disc store. Those things are so comfy and so awesome, and it's really cool. It would just mean the world to me if you guys went out there and supported us through the purchase of those shirts. Those don't go to us directly. It's just kind of cool to have those out there.
Yeah.
So
the super chat, though, that does go to us directly. 33 cents, 33 cents, 33 cents, 1 cent.
But before we go off, we'll if you're following on the Facebook or Twitch, we don't have anybody monitoring that. So wait,
there's a couple of comments on Twitch here. Nothing crazy, but one guy, Peter215, says next thing is to be Twitch partners so I can subscribe and support you guys.
Oh, I will have to look into that.
Yes.
Twitch partners to see what that's all about. Thank you for. I'd seen a couple of people do that, and I was going to look into it, but thanks for reminding me. So I'll look into that, see what that's all about. Let's see. What are we going to? Since we got them both up, real quick, we'll take it the next couple minutes. If you have a question real quick, what's a question that we can answer off of the live feed, Robert? That's a good question.
Let's see here. Kyle Heiser, I don't know if that's his real name or not, asks, why is Disc Golf Answer Man not on Amazon Music?
I don't know. I have to look into that. I thought I put it on everything. I know it's not on Google Play. If you go out to our website, discgolfanswerman.com, and there's a section under the About where it says, how do I listen? There's about 8 different places where you can go listen to us, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, who I heard is going out of business. They might file bankruptcy. But there's several different places, so I'll have to look up to see how do we get on Amazon Music to see if you can listen through there.
Right. I think I answered this for the most part, but Eric, you'd be a good person to answer this. What's the difference between the Defender and the Lucid X Enforcer?
Oh, a lot of stability.
Beef.
Honestly, the Lucid X Enforcer is probably one of the most overstable discs I've ever thrown, next to like the Stiletto or maybe Triple X or something like that. So it's quite a bit faster than those discs, but stability is really all it boils down to. The Defender is still overstable. It still has a lot of beef to it, but I can at least throw the Defender flat and with a lot of power and get it to fly relatively straight. The Enforcer, no. It doesn't even
left.
It doesn't even want to go straight. So just stability. I think it's going to be an awesome headwind driver.
No doubt about it. And super domey. Should hold its stability for quite a while, which is really good. Here's one other one. Brad Garland says, new to the sport, need a good starter set of discs. What would you suggest that's a good bang for your buck?
Say that one more time.
Needs a good starter set of discs.
Like just 3 discs?
Mm-hmm. We have built-in sets.
We do have built-in sets.
Yeah.
But if you're going to a store to buy 3 discs, the 3 I would recommend are, I'm just going to give you what I throw. The Mercy would be a great putter. The EMAC Truth is a pretty versatile fairway driver mid-range that kind of acts like a fairway driver at times. And then the third for a beginner set, I would recommend the Maverick.
I agree. Basically across the board, yeah. I like a Warden for putting, but putters are personal preference. As long as they're not crazy overstable to start, you don't really want to learn on something like that. But yeah, Warden would be great, Judge would be great, Mercy would be great, Deputy would be great. Lots of different options like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone asked about the GBO and tee times. Yes, it's the night before, but if I remember correctly, last year it actually went out during the players' meeting, right?
Probably.
As soon as the players meeting concludes is when we put tee times
and
live.
the reason behind that, you're thinking, well, you've got all year to figure that, is because people are still checking in. And so, and people literally, even with this size of a tournament, people are literally dropping out the day of. And so we want to make sure we have the most up-to-date information as far as attendance.
Yeah, because if you have 3 people on one card that happen to be on one card drop out, we're scrambling.
Right. Trying to fit. Yeah, they got to shuffle people around.
Okay, Eric, go have fun.
Yeah.
Play by yourself.
Yeah, really. Wait, you're 5 hours before. Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
So it looks like you just put a little call out there. If you, they could use some scoring volunteers for live scoring if you'll be at GBO. So UDisc Josh, I'm assuming maybe they could contact you maybe via Facebook. That'd be a good way if they're listening to this podcast later on, the audio version, and you're coming to GBO and looking to help out. Maybe contact UDisc and they can get you information.
He clarified. He said you can find Dan in the UDisc shirt when you're there. And they always set up by the first tee so that they can grab a volunteer for each card. That alleviates the need for the players to keep the stats themselves. I really enjoy that. Yeah, I like having someone walking along who can take care of it because Waco's the only tournament I've played where we had to put those in, and it wasn't too bad because we rotated around. But if you don't have to think about it, that's better.
Yeah. One last question from YouTube. In a form aspect, should my drive technique off the tee be the same as an upshot technique? For example, always pull the disc tight to my body, past body, tight to body, past body.
Sure. You want your upshots to be basically smaller versions of your full swing, right? So when I throw a full drive, I'm trying to pull back pretty far. I don't have the longest reach back, but it's still pretty long. Pull back pretty far. When I throw an upshot, maybe I don't reach back quite as far, but everything else looks the same all the way down to the follow through. I'm not running up at full speed. I'm just kind of slowing it down and maybe doing a smaller version of that. When I'm throwing a full distance drive, everything is slow to fast acceleration. Same thing with an upshot, except for I will just move slower and then still have that acceleration at the end.
Excellent. Again, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning into the live, or if you're listening on the audio, thank you so much for listening.
Can I answer one more really fast?
You can.
Super fast. I'm sorry. Save the Keywork says, Disc Golf Answer Man has slowly been converting my bag to DD. Thank you, Save the Keywork, for supporting us. The one disc I'm having a hard time replacing is my Star Leopard. What disc is similar in the DD line? Bam.
Bam, right there in his hand.
This guy right here.
The Maverick. Save the Keywork. If you have not picked up a Maverick yet, you need to. I think it is a really similar flight, lots of similar characteristics, and the feel is going to be really good for you too. So pick up a Lucid Maverick and let us know what you think. I think you're really going to like it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No worries. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Stay safe. Take luck.